What's going on, everybody? It's your boy JP back again with another video. And today, as you can already see, I have a phone that I think a lot of y'all are or will be interested in. The OnePlus Nord N30 5G. This is, of course, known overseas as the OnePlus Nord CE3 Lite. CE standing for Core Edition, and it was already rumored that it was going to come here in the U.S. under the Nord N branding as the N30, and that it did, and it didn't go to any prepaid carriers first like these have in the past. They normally either come out simultaneously unlocked and at either, only actually Metro by T-Mobile or T-Mobile itself. But this time around, this is still slated to go to Metro by T-Mobile as well as T-Mobile at some point. And it's probably going to be within the next couple of weeks if I had to guess. I mean, I don't really know. But it actually came out first unlocked. And it's $299. You could pick it up from OnePlus's website. You could pick it up from Amazon. You could pick it up from Best Buy. The release date is actually the 15th or the 16th, if I'm not mistaken. I actually got it a little early, and today is Sunday the 11th, June 11th. I actually received it yesterday, June 10th. And I have to say, I'm really impressed. I really am. This is there was a lot of hype, with this with the budget and mid range community, and that's most of my most of my audience, I should say. I'm trying to get my words straight. Most of my audience, they kind of look for your mid-range and budget devices. I seem to get a lot more views on those than I do the higher ends and the flagships and stuff like that, which of course I get. There's much better videos out for a lot of those, other devices, so I totally get it. I mean, I've even said that in my own videos. I mean, I'll tell y'all who to go and watch instead of me. But anyways, let me give y'all a quick rundown on the specs. And I'm going to kind of go over this interesting unboxing as well. But it is, as I said, it's unlocked. It works on AT&T and T-Mobile with 5G. I'm not sure about Verizon, so don't hold me to to anything dealing with them as of right now. Anyways, y'all can definitely comment in the comment section, and if you know or have experience with this device on Verizon. I know it's not really out yet, but in the future, anyways. Nonetheless, this phone, right off the bat, does have a 3.5 millimeter headphone jack and expandable memory. It has 128 gigs internal, but is expandable up to a terabyte, of course, with the micro SD card. And other than that, it is a glass front, plastic frame, which I'll show you, show in a second here, plastic back. It doesn't look it though. It looks aluminum on the sides, has a glass look and even a glass feel on the back. I'm not sure about the protection in the front either, so I'll definitely have to get back on that. But it is a rather large 6.72 inch IPS LCD with a 120 hertz refresh rate. It is full HD plus. It does have Android 13 with Oxygen OS 13.1 on top. It has a Snapdragon 695 octa-core chipset, of course, with the Adreno 619 GPU. Mid-range specs, that's what that means, basically. And the cameras on this device are also very interesting, for what you're getting for the price point. They're very promising. I'll turn it over here right quick just so you can look at the sensors, because this device does have a gorgeous design, honestly. Really nice design. It is a fingerprint magnet, though, so you have to excuse that. I'm going to try to wipe it off as best as possible. But, really, no. Shit, I made that worse. But, I love the way that the sensors on this device are positioned. It's really nice. They're, Even the flash has like a spindle effect to it. It's really nice. It's something that you have to kind of see in person to really get there. But it is a 108 megapixel main lens with a 1.7 aperture. It is a wide. It is a wide angle at that. And then it has a 2 megapixel depth and then a 2 megapixel macro. Of obviously LED flashes, as I just went over with the spindle design. I've never seen that before. That's why it's really it's really intriguing to me. But the selfie camera is a 16 megapixel up here in the front, obviously here, and it is a very subtle punch hole. It's not obnoxious. It doesn't have that little chrome outlining that some of them have that we've discussed before. That's just really annoying. They did considering it's not an OLED panel, they did a really good job with masking it. I think it's as far as the quality of the LCD, definitely the best I've seen. And it's been a while since I've done a phone with an LCD screen. And if y'all remember, I used to go back and forth between Motorola, TCL, and OnePlus phones when it came to just the absolute best LCD phones. I mean, even Blue's last flagship last year had the flagship had an AMOLED, but it was the one right before that, their first 5G phone that actually had the same processor, but it had an LCD screen. It was a beautiful LCD screen. But so I mean, it's everyone seems to know how to do a really good LCD screen nowadays. And of course, this again does have a 120 hertz refresh rate, which is even better. And it works wonderfully. You can definitely notice it. I mean, they did a really good job fine-tuning this device. The optimization is unbelievable, honestly. And I'll try to touch on that a little bit more what I mean by that if I give myself enough time. Oh yeah, stereo speakers, and it has this feature like a 200% feature, and man, it sounds phenomenal. You have to read the specs about the whole 200% thing that the speakers do, but they are some of the best sounding stereo speakers I've ever heard on a smartphone. Seriously. It does have, of course, your usual, your Wi-Fi, your Bluetooth 5.1. It does have NFC, if anybody was wondering. The fingerprint sensors on the side built into the power button. It works. Oh my God, it's insanely fast. The facial recognition is insanely fast. I mean, it's phenomenal. The color on this phone is the chromatic gray. It does have a 5,000 milliamp battery with fast wired 50-watt charging. Thank you to the included Super VOOC charger included in the box. The cable, of course, the red cable. Y'all, this ain't nothing new here. I shouldn't have to show you this here, but of course you got your Super VOOC there. I mean, all in all, a beautiful setup. Beautiful setup. Just to kind of go over the unboxing here, really quick here. Obviously, the lid here, and of course the tray with your charger and your cable. But what was interesting was, first, when you open this up, this doesn't get a case like the overseas model does. I found one on Amazon, though, for like $8. The little gel clear silicone case. I got that on Amazon. Let me see if it's right here. But again, this didn't come with the phone. I bought that myself. But you got this little unique card that says Nord, and that's where your SIM ejector tool is there, obviously. And it's just kind of a little welcome pamphlet, congratulating you. And this is interesting. From within the Star Guide, you get your little, you now have a Red Cable Club physical card, like the size of a credit card or a debit card, and it's a physical card. It's your Red Cable membership card, and just a nice touch, honestly. I think you didn't get this with the OnePlus 11. At least I didn't, and I didn't do a video on it, but I had an unlocked OnePlus 11. Fantastic phone, I might add. Definitely one of the best with the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2 processor. But I do want to touch on this phone right quick. I purposely skipped the RAM. A lot of phones with this processor, and even at this price point, will only have 4 or 6 gigs of RAM. This actually has 8 gigs of RAM, but it gets even better because it also has virtual RAM which gives it another 8 gigs of RAM. So if you are actually looking on OnePlus's website and you're viewing all of the little all of the little things that they're talking about, the features of this specific phone on their website, you'll see a thing that says 16 gigabytes, and that's why they're talking about that. It's because you have 8 gigs of real RAM, and then you can get up to 8 gigs of virtualized RAM, which is really cool. It kicks this up to 16 gigs. I love how they offer the most when it comes to virtualized RAM, because Motorola does 2 and 3 depending on the phone. Xiaomi does like 3, 5, and 7 or something like that. It may not even go past 5. But I like how OnePlus, they go that high. The OnePlus 11 could have a total of 24 gigs of RAM with the virtualized RAM feature. That was something I was going to go over if I had done a video on that phone, but again, I didn't. And with the Snapdragon 695 processor, it would have been nice for this to have maybe the Snapdragon 6 Gen 1, which the Moto G Stylus 5G 2023 is coming out with on the 15th, this Thursday, if I'm not mistaken. For $100 more, and that's not a bad. And I certainly think that's worth the increase. That and the Stylus, but of course, it's also worth saving the $100 and going with this phone, because even if the virtualized RAM isn't your thing, you're still getting more real RAM, so it's and you're saving $100. So it's a you got your trade-offs there, of course, as with anything. But and I'm definitely not doing a comparison between the two, but I bring that up because this is definitely the highest performing Snapdragon 695 powered phone that you will actually see or use. I mean, you can check the benchmarks that are already out. You can benchmark it yourself, and you'll see it scores considerably higher than any other Snapdragon 695 powered phone. And that impresses me because another phone that's coming out later this week, another Motorola, the Razr Plus. Benchmarks for that phone have already been out. They've been out for a couple weeks now, as of June 1st, if I'm not mistaken. And if you actually check the benchmarks, that phone, even though it has the Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 instead of the Snapdragon 8 Gen 2, it smokes any other Snapdragon 8 Plus Gen 1 powered phone. I mean, it smokes them by a long shot. And I'm not even just talking about N30, which is my favorite benchmark, but I know that it's not a favorite to a lot of other people. I watch a lot of videos all the time where people say that N30 is not their favorite, but it's my favorite. But even the other benchmarks that are other people's favorites, like Geekbench, etc., that phone scores considerably higher than all of the other phones with that same processor. And I can't talk straight again. Sorry, y'all. That sounded like a kid there. That really amazed me when I saw that. And that's how this phone is. It's the processing power. It's very impressive for what you get. Definitely worth the $300. Definitely a major go. I would like to see Flossie do a video on this phone and possibly agree with me there. Of course, I'm sure he won't see mine when doing his or before doing his, but I would like to think that if and when he does, he would give it his triple major go. I think it's a fantastic phone, honestly. It is blazing fast. It's beautiful. As I said, it's a fingerprint magnet, but it looks and feels like glass. It even sounds like when I tap on it. It's hard to believe that it's plastic. Plastic frame, but it looks aluminum. It feels aluminum again. It gets cold to the touch. It's a fantastic phone, honestly. Very impressed. I mean, extremely speedy. I mean, the camera's not going to pick it up, obviously, because I have it set to 120 hertz. And this video's at 60 hertz, if I'm not mistaken. But very impressive. I was really glad I was able to bring this phone early to y'all. There's not a lot of videos on the US variant yet. You're having to watch the video of the foreign version from India to get an idea of the phone. But the specs don't match, 1-to-1. Then again, honestly, I think the only difference is the charging speed, because the foreign one has 67 watt versus the 50 watt of the US variant. But the US variants of most of these phones always end up with a slower charging speed, as was the case with the Red Magic 8 Pro, and that's just one example out of 10 of them. But nonetheless, hope y'all like this. Hope y'all enjoyed this video, and hit me up in the comments, and I will see y'all in the next one. Peace out.